tale, which even your own children will not believe. Nothing will be left to tell of your wisdom but old graven stones. Men will be weary of life, and will cease seeing the universe as worthy of reverent wonder. Spirituality, the greatest of all blessings, will be threatened with extinction and believed a burden to be scorned. The world will no longer be loved as an incomparable work of atom, a glorious monument to his primal goodness, an instrument of the divine will to evoke veneration and praise in the beholder. Egypt will be widowed, every sacred voice will be silenced, darkness will be preferred to light, no eyes will raise to heaven, the pure will be thought insane, and the impure will be honored as wise, the madman will be believed brave, and the wicked esteemed as good. Knowledge of the immortal soul will be laughed at and denied. No reverent words worthy of heaven will be heard or believed. So I, thrice great Hermes, the first of men to attain all knowledge, have inscribed the secrets of the gods in sacred symbols and holy hieroglyphs on these stone tablets, which I have concealed for a future world that may seek our sacred wisdom. Through all-seeing mind, I myself have been the witness of the invisible things of heaven, and through contemplation come to knowledge of the truth. This knowing I have set down in these writings. Chapter 2. The Initiation of Hermes. In this chapter, Hermes describes a mystical vision of the creation of the cosmos, upon which all his later teachings are based. Hermes derives his wisdom from a dramatic mystical revelation. While his mind is alert, yet still and empty, he hears God speaking to him. Hermes asks to be shown the true nature of reality, and suddenly everything begins to change before him. In a mysterious vision, he witnesses the creation of the world. This vision is not meant to be understood intellectually, but contemplated like images from a dream. However, we can explore a little of its deep meaning. Hermes' first experience is of an all-embracing divine light, which as he watches casts a shadow like dark restless water. Later, he is told that this light is the mind of God, and the dark waters are the unlimited potential out of which God will fashion the universe. This is a mystical vision of the first act of creation, remarkably similar to the modern scientific theory of the Big Bang. An explosion of light and energy slowly cools to become the black womb of space, into which suns and planets and finally ourselves are born. This birth, like any birth, is accompanied by pain, and Hermes hears an inarticulate cry of suffering from the turbulent depths. The light then speaks a word which calms the chaotic waters. This word is like a blueprint that will organize a structured cosmos out of the chaos. Modern science might call it the fundamental laws of nature. This word is the first idea in the mind of God, from which everything springs. Initiated into the secrets of the creation, Hermes receives his divine mission from the Supreme Being. Only this knowledge, he is told, can save those who live in darkness. Hermes must become a spiritual guide to all mankind. The initiation of Hermes. My senses were suspended in a mystic sleep, not a weary, full-fed drowsiness, but an alert and conscious emptiness. Released from my body, I flew with my thoughts, and while I soared, it seemed to me a vast and boundless being called my name. Hermes, what are you looking for? Who are you? I asked. I am the way guide, the supreme mind, the thoughts of Atom, the one God. I am with you, always and everywhere. I know your desires. Make your questions conscious, and they will be answered. Show me the nature of reality. Bless me with knowledge of Atom, I begged. Suddenly everything changed before me. Reality was opened out. Parent of the word, just as, in your own experience, your human mind gives birth to speech. They cannot be divided, one from the other, for life is the union of mind and word. Now, fix your attention upon the light and become one with it. When he had said this, he looked into me, eye to eye, until trembling I saw in thought limitless power within the light to form an infinite yet ordered world, and I was amazed. I saw in the darkness of the deep chaotic water without form, permeated with a subtle intelligent breath of divine power. Atom's word fell on the fertile waters, making them pregnant with all forms. Ordered by the harmony of the word, the four elements came into being, combining to create the brood of living creatures. The fiery element was articulated as the constellations of the stars and the gods of the seven heavenly bodies, revolving forever in celestial circles. The word then leapt up from the elements of nature and reunited with mind, the maker, leaving mere matter devoid of intelligence. My guide said, "You have perceived the boundless primal idea which is before the beginning. By Atom's will, the elements of nature were born, as reflections of this primal thought in the waters of potentiality. These are the primary things, the prior things, the first principles of all in the universe. Atom's word is the creative idea, the supreme, limitless power which nurtures and provides for all the things that through it are created. I have shown you everything. Why do you wait? Write the wisdom you have understood in hieroglyphic characters, carved on stone in the holy sanctuary. Make yourself a spiritual guide to those worthy of the gift of knowledge, so that through you, Atom may save humankind. I was overwhelmed with gratitude to the All-Father who had graced me with the supreme vision. In awe and reverence I prayed, please never let me fall away from the knowledge of your being, so that I may enlighten those who are in darkness. Then with his power in me, I began to speak. The aloof laughed at my words, but others knelt at my feet. I told them to stand and receive the seeds of wisdom which I will sow in you with these teachings. So listen, men of clay. If you do not pay keen attention, my words will fly past you and wing their way back to the source from which they come. Chapter 3. The Being of Atom. In this chapter, Hermes attempts to describe God, Atom. Although God cannot be defined with words, Hermes gives some clues for us to contemplate. God is oneness. Everything is a part of one supreme being. Like the number 1, which is the source of all subsequent numbers, God is the source of all. Yet just as when the number 1 is divided or multiplied by itself, it remains 1. So God constantly remains the oneness. Because he unites everything, his nature is paradoxical. He is the creator who creates himself. He is always hidden from us, yet he is also the world around us. He has no particular name, because all names refer to him. God is the supreme mind. He is everywhere and always. The human mind is an image of the supreme mind. Through the power of imagination, it can roam the universe and be, like God, in all times and all places. Hermes tells us that if we truly understand the extraordinary power of the human mind, we would then know the nature of God. Everything exists as an idea within the mind of God. He creates all things in the same way that our own minds create thoughts. Just as the nature of mind is to think, so the nature of God is to create. This is not something he did at the beginning of time. He is doing it continuously. God is constantly creating creation and will never stop. God is both the material objects around us and the immaterial thoughts in our mind. The world we see and sense is an illusion, however, compared to the great ideas which only exist in the mind. Above all are the ideas of goodness and beauty. These qualities belong to God alone. They can at best be found imperfectly in the material world, but exist in all their perfection in the immaterial world of the mind. They are so perfect that God is in love with them. God is in love with himself. The being of Atom. Give me your whole awareness. Concentrate your thoughts, for knowledge of Atom's being requires deep insight, which comes only as a gift of grace. It is like a plunging torrent of water, whose swiftness outstrips any man who strives to follow it, leaving behind not only the hearer, but even the teacher himself. To conceive of Atom is difficult. To define him is impossible. The imperfect and impermanent cannot easily apprehend the eternally perfected. Atom is whole and constant. In himself, he is motionless, yet he is self-moving. He is immaculate, incorruptible, and everlasting. He is the supreme, absolute reality. He is filled with ideas which are imperceptible to the senses. And with all-embracing knowledge, Atom is primal mind. He is too great to be called by the name Atom. He is hidden, yet obvious everywhere. His being is known through thought alone, yet we see his form before our eyes. He is bodiless, yet embodied in everything. There is nothing which he is not. He has no name, because all names are his name. He is the unity of all things. So we must know him by all names and call everything Atom. He is the root and source of all. Everything has a source, except this source itself, which springs from nothing. Atom is complete like the number 1, which remains itself, whether multiplied or divided, and yet generates all numbers. Atom is the whole, which contains everything. He is one, not two. He is all, not many. The all is not many separate things, but the oneness that subsumes the parts. The all and the one are identical. You think that things are many when you view them as separate, but when you see they all hang on the one and flow from the one, you will realize they are united, linked together, and connected by a chain of being from the highest to the lowest, all subject to the will of Atom. The cosmos is one as the sun is one. The moon is one and the earth is one. Do you think there are many gods? That's absurd. God is one. Atom alone is the creator of all that is immortal and all that is mutable. If that seems incredible, just consider yourself. You see, speak, hear, touch, taste, walk, think, and breathe. It is not a different you who does these various things, but one being who does them all. To understand how Atom makes all things, consider a farmer sowing seeds. Here wheat, there barley, now planting a vine, then an apple tree. Just as the same man plants all these seeds, so Atom sows immortality in heaven and change on earth. Throughout the cosmos, he disseminates life and movement, the two great elements that comprise Atom and his creation, and so everything that is. Atom is called Father because he begets all things. And from his example, the wise hold begetting children, the most sacred pursuit of human life. Atom works with nature, within the laws of necessity, causing extinction and renewal, constantly creating creation to display his wisdom. Yet the things that the eye can see are mere phantoms and illusions, Only those things invisible to the eye are real. Above all are the ideas of beauty and goodness. Just as the eye cannot see the being atom, so it cannot see these great ideas. They are attributes of atom alone and are inseparable from him. They are so perfectly without blemish that atom himself is in love with them. There is nothing which atom lacks, so nothing that he desires. There is nothing that atom can lose, so nothing can cause him grief. Atom is everything. Atom makes everything, and everything is a part of atom. Atom therefore makes himself. This is atom's glory. He is all creative, and this creating is his very being. It is impossible for him ever to stop creating, for atom can never cease to be. Atom is everywhere. Mind cannot be enclosed, because everything exists within mind. Nothing is so quick and powerful. Just look at your own experience. Imagine yourself in any foreign land, and quick as your intention, you will be there. Think of the ocean, and there you are. You have not moved as things move, but you have traveled nevertheless. Fly up into the heavens. You won't need wings. Nothing can obstruct you, not the burning heat of the sun or the swirling planets. Pass on to the limits of creation. Do you want to break out beyond the boundaries of the cosmos? For your mind, even that is possible. Can you sense what power you possess? If you can do all this, then what about your Creator? Try and understand that atom is mind. This is how he contains the cosmos. All things are thoughts, which the Creator thinks. The Hermetica, The Lost Wisdom of the Pharaohs, written by Timothy Freak and Peter Gandy, read by Julian Brown. Chapter 4. Contemplate Creation. In this chapter, Hermes teaches us how to see God by contemplating his creation. When we look at the world only with our physical eyes, God is nowhere to be seen. But if we look with our thoughts, we see with spiritual understanding. Suddenly God is everywhere. In this ecstatic state, everything we see and touch is known to be a part of God. And we understand that God's whole purpose in creating the world was so that through it we could see him. The cosmos is his body, and we can come to know him by contemplating its extraordinary order and beauty. Hermes asks us to consider the constant revolutions of the stars in the night sky, the laws of fate, which he calls necessity, the goodness of everything that has happened and is happening. Could this all be so perfect without a supreme mind, which maintains such exquisite order? Could it all just be happening accidentally? He reminds us of the marvel of our own birth. Who created us in the womb? Who perfectly crafted the individual details of our bodies? Statues and portraits don't just happen. They are sculpted and painted. Surely such a work of art, as beautiful and complex as our own physical forms, must be the work of a master craftsman. The modern view is that we are a creation of the laws of nature. Hermes would not disagree with this. He would simply ask, who decreed these laws? He is trying to return us to a childlike sense of awe in the face of the wonders of life. The world is a miracle, yet we take it for granted. If we take the time to reflect, it becomes obvious that we are surrounded by profound mysteries. The universe is a gigantic work of art, signed by an unknown master. Humble amazement is a prerequisite for coming to know God. Contemplate creation. Ask Atom to flash a ray of his illumination into your awareness, giving you the power to grasp in thought his sublime being. For the invisible may only be seen with thoughts, which are themselves invisible. If you can't see thoughts, do you expect to see Atom? Look with your mind, however, and he will appear to you, manifesting himself without reservation throughout the whole universe, so that you may see his image with your eyes and hold it with your two hands. Do you think Atom is invisible? Don't say that. Nothing is more visible than Atom. He created all things, so that through them you could see him. This is Atom's great heart, that he manifests himself in everything. Everything can be known, including the insubstantial. Just as mind is known through thoughts, so Atom is known through his creation. Atom is the all-encompassing author of entirety, weaving everything into the fabric of reality. Because creation is visible, we can see the Creator. And this is the purpose of his creation. Since he is always creating, he can always be seen. So we should think and marvel and realize that we are blessed with knowledge of our Father. To know Atom's being, contemplate him in thought. To see him with your eyes, look at the exquisite order of the cosmos, the necessity which governs everything you perceive, the goodness of all that has been and that is coming to be. Look at matter filled full with life and see Atom pulsating with all he contains. Contemplate the cosmos as his ancient body, which is ever prime and new. See the planets circling in eternal time. See the spiritual fire of the heavens turn to light by the sun and shed as goodness upon the world. See the ever-changing moon, which governs birth, growth, and decay. See the constellation of the Bear, which never rises or sets, but stays ever a fixed point, an axle around which the circle of the zodiac revolves. See the comets, which are called prophet stars. For when some future fate awaits the world, they emerge for a few days from their invisible home below the circle of the sun. Who is it that maintains such exquisite order? The sun is the greatest god in the heavens, a king to whom all the others pay homage. Yet this mighty god humbly submits to have smaller stars circle above him. Who is it that he obeys with awe? Each star travels its appointed range of space. Why don't all stars run the same course? Who is it who has assigned to each its place? The Bear revolves around herself and carries around with her the whole cosmos. Who is it that appointed her this task? Who is it that fixed the earth and confined the sea within its shores? Someone must be the maker and master of all of this. It couldn't just happen. All order must be created. It is only that which is out of measure, which is accidental. Yet even disorder is subject to the master, who has yet to impose order upon it. If only it were possible to grow wings and soar into the air, poised between heaven and earth, you would see the solid ground and flowing rivers, the wandering air, the penetrating fire, the circling stars, and the encompassing heavens. What joy to see all this, borne along by the one impulse, to perceive the unmoved mover moving in all that moves. He who is hidden manifests through all his works. Consider for a moment how you were created in the womb. Think of that skillful workmanship and look for the craftsman who made such a beautiful godlike image. Who traced the circles of your eyes? Who pierced your nostrils, ears, and mouth? Who stretched your sinews and tied them fast? Who built your bones and wrapped your flesh and skin? Who separated your fingers and flattened your feet? Who shaped your heart and hollowed your lungs? Who made your beauty visible and concealed your guts within? How many crafts have been employed? How many works of art created to form one human being? Statues or portraits don't just happen without a sculptor or painter. How such a sublime work, no creator? Chapter 5. The Living Cosmos. In this chapter, Hermes succinctly outlines the essence of his philosophical ideas and paints the picture of the cosmos as a living being, teeming with life. In the beginning, there is unity. Unity separates into two fundamental forces, which, like the negative and positive poles of a battery, generate everything. Hermes describes them as light and life, which become mind and soul. We experience them as thoughts and feelings. The oneness of God is both light and life. These two forces are the parents of the mind of the cosmos. This was experienced by Hermes in his original mystical vision as the Word, which calmed the dark waters, the fundamental laws of nature which bring order to the chaos. The physical cosmos is a perfect reflection of this ordering principle, the mind of the cosmos. The mind of the cosmos, the Word, is in turn a reflection of God. Just as a spoken word reflects the intention of its speaker, since God is all goodness, the cosmos is therefore also good. Because the cosmos is made in the image of its creator, it too is an immortal living being. It is therefore impossible that any part of it can be dead. At its conception, it was filled with energy, which, as modern science has now proved, can neither be created or destroyed. Unlike myriad forms that it passes through, energy itself is immortal. God is the source of this energy, which, through the laws of nature, creates life. The cosmic mind receives energy from God and gives it to all the things within the cosmos. Through this process, the cosmos is completely saturated with soul, the life force. Everything in it is alive. Nothing is dead, not even so-called inanimate things. The cosmos is a great living being, which in turn gives life to all the lesser beings it contains. It is the whole which nourishes its parts, like a parent caring for its children. The living cosmos. The primal mind, which is life and light, gave birth to the mind of the cosmos. The primal mind is ever unmoving, eternal and changeless, containing within it this cosmic mind, which is imperceptible to the senses. The cosmos, which sense perceives, is a copy and image of this eternal cosmic mind, like a reflection in a mirror. First of all and without beginning is Atom. Second is the cosmos, made in his likeness. As the cosmos is a second God, it is also an immortal being. And because everything in the cosmos is a part of the cosmos, it is impossible that any part of it should die. The cosmos is all life. From its first foundations, there has never existed a single thing which was not alive. There is not, and has never been, and never will be anything in the cosmos that is dead. Atom is light, the everlasting source of energy, the eternal dispenser of life itself. Once energy has been dispensed, its supply is governed by eternal cosmic laws. The cosmos has its being within the eternal energy from which all life issues, so it is impossible for it ever to stop or be destroyed. It is contained and bound together by the eternal life force. The cosmos dispenses this life to all the things within it. It has a twofold movement. Energy is infused into the cosmos from eternity, and it in turn infuses life into all things within it. Mind and soul are manifestations of light and life. Everything moves by the power of soul. The body of the cosmos, within which all bodies are contained, is completely saturated with soul. Soul is entirely illuminated by mind. Mind is totally permeated by atom. Soul fills and encompasses the whole body of the cosmos. It gives life to the great and perfect living creature which is the cosmos, which in turn gives life to all the lesser living creatures it contains. The cosmos is the whole which generates and nourishes the parts, like a parent caring for its children. It receives its supply of goodness from atom, and it is this goodness which is the true power of creation. The cosmos is the image of atom, and since atom is all goodness, the cosmos is also good. Chapter 6. The Circle of Time. In this chapter, Hermes explores the nature of time and change. Everything in the cosmos is constantly changing. Things born, pass away, and come into existence again, like old plants dying each winter to return as new shoots each spring. All these changes, however, are governed by unchanging natural laws. In this way, therefore, it could also be said that the cosmos is essentially changeless. Time regulates the natural processes of change in the cosmos. It is measured by the recurring cycles of the stars and the sun, which revolve in fixed and permanent orbits. Unlike our modern picture of time as a straight line from the past to future, Hermes sees time as a circle. We too actually measure time in circles, however. A day is a circle of time, which begins again when the sun rises each morning. The year is a circle of time measured by the Earth's orbit around the sun. Vaster circles of time are expressed by the movements of the constellations of the stars. All of these cycles eventually bring things back to where they started. It is impossible to say where that is, however, for a circle has no starting point. You cannot say where it begins and where it ends. Hermes ultimately points to a deeper understanding of time. The past has gone and does not exist. The future has yet to happen and does not exist. The present moment passes so quickly that it has no permanence. Before we have even said now, the moment has gone. We can never catch the present, so in what way could it be said to exist? This mystical insight into the illusory nature of time is a way to glimpse the oneness of God, who exists beyond time. For God there is no past, present, and future, only eternity. Freeing ourselves from the illusion of time is yet another way we can experience God. The Circle of Time. In a sense, the cosmos is changeless, because its motions are determined by unalterable laws, which cause it to revolve eternally, without beginning and end. Its parts manifest, disappear, and are created anew, again and again, in the undulating pulse of time. Through the process of time, life within the cosmos is regulated and maintained. Time renews all things in the cosmos by the circling process of change, measured by the heavenly bodies, returning to their former positions as they revolve around the heavens. The present issues from the past, and the future from the present. Everything is made one by this continuity. Time is like a circle where all the points are so linked that you cannot say it begins or ends, for all points both precede and follow one another forever. Yet there is an even deeper understanding. The past has departed and no longer is. The future has not arrived and is yet to be. Even the present does not last, so how can it be said to exist when it doesn't stay still for a moment? Chapter 7. The Gods. In this chapter, Hermes discusses the many powers through which God administers creation. To the ancient Egyptians, the night sky was seen as the body of the black goddess, sprinkled with stars. In the Hermetica, she is known as the great goddess Destiny, whose unalterable laws are written in the unchanging star fields of the constellations. Against the background of these stars circle the planets. Ruled by the great goddess, they administer her fate to all things upon earth. Although the constellations of the stars contain the destiny of everything, the 5 visible planets and the sun and moon are the forces which administer this destiny. Hermes therefore calls these powers gods. Destiny, working through the planetary gods, governs all of creation. They pour an uninterrupted stream of life force into all forms of matter, making them ceaselessly change from one state to another in a process we call living and dying. The gods are ruled by the goddess Destiny, who makes sure that all they do accords with God's will. The god Ra is the sun, which sends down energy to the earth, whilst God is the hidden light, which cannot be seen with the physical eyes because it is pure energy. Ra is the visible light, placed at the center of our solar system. The sun is an image of God, and as God gives life to the whole universe, so the sun gives life to the animals and plants of the earth. The light of the sun nurtures nature in the same way that the light of God nurtures our souls. The gods, the mind of the cosmos, created from fire and air, the 7 administrators who regulate destiny, the 5 visible planets and the sun and moon whose orbits encompass the world of the senses. These celestial powers, known by thought alone, are called the gods, and they preside over the world. They are ruled over by the goddess Destiny, who transforms everything according to the law of natural growth, creating from the permanent, unchanging reality a permanently changing world. The heavenly bodies are governed by atom, and from them flows into matter an uninterrupted stream of soul. Matter is like a fertile womb within which all things are conceived. All forms shape matter, and soul energy ceaselessly changes them, one into another.